everyone, and welcome to another DIY video. I know it's been a while, but creative block is no joke. I feel like I'm finally back in the rhythm again, and today I'm working on a punch needle project. As you can see, I have quite a lot of yarn accumulated over time that I would like to upcycle, and punch needle is great for that. It's starting to look more and more like fall outside, so I'm thinking of making an autumn themed wall hanging. I picked a few colors that I thought might go well together, but it's always a good idea to sketch your design in advance and look which color combinations work the best. In the beginning I wasn't sure which shape I want to go for, so I kind of tried a few different things here. I definitely wanted a mushroom to be the centerpiece, so in the end I sort of matched the rest of the colors to it. And this is the final design I came up with. As it turned out later, it wasn't the best one and I definitely came to regret a few life choices, but we will come to it. I am working with an embroidery hoop and regular embroidery fabric. Punch needle is quite different from embroidery though, and you want your fabric to be drum tight, like really as tight as you can get it to be. Make sure you screw the hoop as far as it goes and tighten the fabric by pulling on its edges. I also printed myself a stencil on paper to trace the oval shapes so that I make it as precise as possible. First I cut out the larger oval and traced it with a marker on the fabric. Then I repeated it with the smaller one. Afterwards I transferred the rest of the design. For the needle, I'm using an Oxford punch needle. It is very easy to thread. You basically just pull the yarn through the opening in the handle and then make sure the tail goes through this little hole near the tip. And we are all set for punching. I decided to start from the light outline, so I'm basically punching all the way around my inner oval. On the other side there are loops appearing, which will later be the front side of my wall hanging. To finish the row, I carefully lift the needle and catch the thread so that the loop on the other side doesn't come undone. I then cut off the thread and we can now switch to another color. It doesn't matter much in which order you punch your shapes. Within a shape, I most often start from the border and then fill in all the gaps, but it's a matter of personal preference. With this mushroom head, I also need to be careful to leave space for white dots that will come later. On the front side, the loops are so dense that you actually can't see any spaces left. Sometimes when you punch with very thick yarn, your needle might go through other loops and sort of pull them out a bit. In such cases, I just carefully cut the loose strands off. Next, I'm filling in all the gaps with light yarn, including a few dots along the outline. For each, I only need to punch 2-3 times before cutting off the tail. And while I'm still on light yarn, I'm punching the bottom part of the mushroom leg. I'm moving to the darker brown yarn, and here is where things started getting out of control a little bit. The top part of the leg was fine, but once I started making lines on the bottom part of the head, I figured that it's way too much detail for the size of the needle and yarn I'm using. I was trying to squeeze in all the lines while there were still spaces in between to be filled with a lighter shade of brown. After a while, as the yarn tails kept accumulating, I could hardly see what I'm doing anymore and where I'm supposed to punch, and all of this work basically for nothing, considering that you can barely see the difference between the two shades of brown on the front side. Anyways, I finished the bottom of the head and somehow tried to squeeze in the black outline too, which I completely forgot about. Surprisingly, it worked well, but at this point the back of my project looked like a battlefield. My next mess up was this little star that I added to my design already when sketching on fabric, and let's just say it turned out a bit chunky and very remotely resembling a star of any sort. The leaves, despite my sketching hardships, turned out just fine, and this time I didn't forget to leave space for the black lines in the middle. Honestly, I was happy to be done with the centerpiece, but not for long, because next I had to fill up all the black space around, and that took forever, which was frustrating. But you know, punching is a great way to let go of hard feelings, so it's sort of a self-solving problem. When I moved on to the outer striped border, I came to realize my next mistake, which was initially making the light outline way too thin. To make it more visible, I definitely had to add another row around. Undoing punch needle work is weirdly satisfying though, so I wasn't mad about it. I added another row of light loops and then started filling in the stripes. When I finished the green part, this is how much I had left of my yarn. And since I don't have any more yarn in this color, it almost turned into a fail number 4. Finally, I finished off with the black color and the wool hanging was practically done. I wish. Somehow I wasn't feeling the star, so I undid that too and replaced it with black loops to fill in the gap. So now it's finally over with the punching, because we still need to finish off the project. To finish off the wool hanging, I cut all the tails really short and practically drowned the back of my canvas with glue. You want to soak every part of it so that no loops come loose on the other side. Next we can take off the fabric and cut out the design, leaving approximately 1 centimeter of margin all around. We can then make small cuts every centimeter or so and fold these little flaps onto the back of the tapestry to glue them to the surface. I also added a ribbon and then covered everything with a sheet of felt. Once you let everything dry, which will probably take a few hours, you can trim the felt and fix any imperfections on the front side. And this is the final result. I feel that Punch Needle was made for cozy autumn DIY projects, and I am definitely making some more wall hangings for myself. Maybe even a carpet? Let me know in the comments what you want me to make next. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.